But let's talk EMEA real quick, chat, and then we're gonna get the flip up on out of here. I know we're already kind of running late, so I'm not gonna fly through this because I want this to be valuable. I do want this to at least have a little bit of information, some of the stuff that I've kind of been thinking about heading into the season. But we won't talk too much because I know that we've already about an hour into the podcast here. I appreciate y'all for hanging out. By the way, don't forget, if you made it this far on the podcast after the live edition, which we do over on our Twitch, whether you're watching on YouTube, you're listening to this on the audio version on any of the platforms, do me a favor, leave a review, leave a comment, leave a like, do all the things, tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody about it. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if we can grow this thing out. I've been having a lot of fun doing this more like podcast, journalistic style, esports stuff. So before preseason, I wanted to do some of these regions. I had a lot of fun doing NA last week. So figured we could have some fun doing EMEA this week. Of course, we have the kickoff events starting off not next week, but the week after. So I still have to figure out a time that we're going to be doing Pacific and China. I might not do a China tier list because I didn't really watch too much of the China League, to be honest. But we'll see. Maybe I can kind of do some research up until that point. But I do kind of want to get into as far as a tier list for the year. I do want to say going into this for the tier list, this isn't as far as where they sit right now. For me, I want to make a list. Consider this more of a prediction on how they're going to finish the season versus how I rank them right now. Okay? So what I mean by that is if we were to say right now, it's very obvious that Fnatic sits in first place. It's very obvious that Fnatic is ahead above the rest. But if I were to put them in second, it doesn't mean that they aren't the best team right now. It would just mean that I think that somebody is going to be able to pass them up by the beginning of the season. All right. With that being said, that's not going to happen. But just for instance, right? I do kind of want to start from the bottom here. Started from the bottom. Now we're here. Because I do think there's at the bottom of the list. I would say probably our bottom 3. I feel like our bottom 3 could probably I don't want to say change anyway. Maybe our bottom 2. I can see Heretics and Koi maybe potentially changing. I do feel like BBL made some changes in the offseason that could potentially allow them to look decent. And when I say decent, I mean compared to what they did last year. But they're still the second best Turkish team. And I think that is going to be very, very obvious towards the end of the season. There's a little bit of a fall off there, and for good reason, because you have a team that is Turkish that's put together a phenomenal sort of roster. So people who follow EMEA should probably know who I'm talking about. But again, I think for our bottom 3, Koi in the last spot, Heretics, Fanatics, I would even say as far as Gentle Mates in 8th. Because we don't know much about them, I even kind of feel weird rating Gentle Mates so high because I think Ascension teams are going to struggle kind of across the board. We even kind of talked about that with G2 last week, right? In our NA rankings or tier list or predictions, whatever we want to call this. I haven't really figured out what we're going to call it. I should probably do that. Figure that out, huh? If y'all have an idea, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. Because I'm going to take a picture of this. We're going to keep it for the end of the season to kind of see how it goes. But I do feel like Gentle Mates in 8th, our Ascension team. Yeah, that's got to be right. And then Giants, probably 7th. Oh, nope. Yeah, I'm not very sold on Giants either. I mean, maybe, again, this is one of those things where if Gentle Mates starts coming out of Ascension and looking really good, maybe put them over Giants. I do think Giants... I mean, they picked up Redgar. Oh, is that why it changed? It's Giant X now. Oh, it's a new XL Sports and Giants are together. See, I did not know that. Interesting. But yeah, I mean, they did pick up Redgar from Team Liquid. I think going to be a good addition to the roster. Do I think Giants in 7th, or do we go Giants a little higher? No, I do think at least Giants pass Gentlemates. I feel like when we look at 7th through 4th, kind of gets close, because then you got what? Carmine Corp, Team Liquid, probably. Team Liquid, of course, had, you know, coming off last year where they won their region, but never really performed well as far as on like the international level. Kind of finishing like 7-8, you know, which still isn't bad, I guess we should say, but I just feel like there's always something left on the table. The question is, how much does Liquid fall off with all of their roster changes? Because you had Safe go to Vitality. Sulcus go to Apex. Apex Gaming, not Apex the game. Whereas Carmine Corp, on the other side, kind of put together what? They have Narrate, who was in NA last year, but played for M80. But I do feel like it's still a decent like pickup for them. It's kind of like a little misfit of roster like changes otherwise for them. You do still have Shin, who was on the roster last year. They picked up the kid, the shot caller from Apex too, right? Yeah, Magnum. So I think Carmine Corp has made the changes necessary. They actually might fit it. Again, I think 4 through 7 can kind of change. I think I might actually put Carmine Corp ahead of Liquid. And then Vitality? Or will we put Carmine Corp ahead of Vitality? I do think the two French teams that did not do very well last year during play. So Carmine Corp and Vitality. I think both made the type of roster moves that were necessary. You're bringing in... They still have Sender. So they have Sender and Destrian still back. Like I said earlier, you picked up Safe from Liquid. And then you picked up, I think, 2 like T2 players, right? Yeah, you picked up Runner and Kicks, but they were from the same organization, so maybe a little bit of synergy that they can work together. I don't know. Do I want to put Vitality over Carmine Corp? I think my heart tells me I would like to put Carmine Corp in 4th because I very much know that like the culture that KC is building and just in their esports altogether. I guess you could say the same thing about Vitality though, for real. I think both French orgs are really building something special and kind of have a good grip and an understanding of how to build a fan base. Because their fan bases are crazy. And hopefully at some point we get to see the new Carmine Corp facility. I would love to see EMEA, VCT like hold an event there. But I do think Carmine Corp will have to be better than mid-pack in order for that to happen. But again, I think if you look at 4th through 7th, you know, Giants could go on a run. Go on a run. I think Giants X could very easily go on a run. Go, you know, 5th, 4th sort of area. So I'm even thinking about doing that. Looking at it more. Flipping Giants and Liquid. Now, I think I'm going to hold Giants in 7th. So, Vitality in 4th. Carmine Corp in 5th. Team Liquid in 6th. Giants X in 7th. Gentlemates in 8th. BBL, Heretics, Koi. Again, I think Fnatic comes out on top. I just don't think there's anyone beating them right now. Unless they fall off. and I just don't see it happening. The question becomes between, Navi and FUT. I think Navi picking up Artis, having him kind of returning to the crew, could be a very, easy reason to put them in second, sorry. I don't know, man. There's just something about the way this team has looked since Cena joined the roster, how they've looked in some of these off-season events. They won Convergence, which I believe was just the off-season, the little off-season EMEA tournament. They looked good in that. They finished third, fourth, the third, fourth bracket for home ground 4. I think it's similar fashion to how kind of 4th through 7 can change. I think you could really make an argument either way here, chat, between FUT and Navi in 2nd and 3rd. I think as far as for me, though, I think I'm going to have to go with FUT in 2nd. And then Navi in 3rd. What I wouldn't be surprised to happen when we look at how the season is laid out is I wouldn't be surprised to see one of those situations where Fnatic is your automatic qualifier. Whoever doesn't make the first event between FUT and Navi will join the other two at Madrid. I think is the way that it works. Oh, wait, no, not Madrid. Sorry. Whoever doesn't make Madrid will make Shanghai between Fnatic, FUT, and Navi. Just because, as much as I want to say that, the Vitality roster and the Carmine Corp roster, they look good, and I like some of the changes that they've made this offseason, which I do. I do think that we will see that there will be a very distinct line here between 3rd and 4th. I think the 4th, you could even say 4th through the rest of the standings. I think it's probably 4th through 7th, maybe even 8th, depending on what Gentlemates brings to the table coming out of Ascension. I think that's going to be a close, little pick. Which means when we talk about potential for next year, when some more roster changes happen, or even at the end of this year when one of these teams gets hot and maybe an LCQ team for champs, right? Plus EMEA gets 4 for champs, right? So that spot's going to be open, but I think your top 3 are pretty well locked in. Fnatic, FUT, Navi. Yeah, I think this is a banger, chat. Let me know what you guys think. If you're watching after the fact over on YouTube, let me know down in the comments. I know y'all love the Flame people for their tier list. Let me have it. But again, this isn't so much where they sit right now. For me, this right here, chat, is my list for their, it's the prediction for how they're going to finish it off here. I guess a tier list?